Hello everyone, I'm Gabriele, game director of Sheol. In this video I want to show you the new tabletop prototype. This video is a little different than the ones we did because for the first time we are in Tabletop Simulator. We imported almost all the Sheol components here in many decks, and I prepared a little setup. This is the setup of the first mission that has only a few elements, and it's also the tutorial mission. In the first part of this video I want to show you the new improved components, doing a little overview on all the components, and then I will show you some of the rules that changed in the last version of Sheol. Okay, so let's start. The first thing you can see is the improved mainboard. Some of you on the Discord channel already saw it because I posted it. The improved mainboard has a better artwork and better graphics to understand the flow and the movements better, and also on the artistic side. Okay, so you can see the shadows and the Citadel with the Citadel miniature that is placed here on a plateau at the center of the main board. Then we have all the part of the characters boards that are modular in Sheol because are composed by multiple parts. Each character in this setup has its own cards and elements. We can proceed with analyzing the Pioneer. Okay, that is the all-rounder character and the first character we designed in Sheol. Okay, the first thing is the looks board. The looks board that has the movement points with these blue cubes to counter them. Sorry, the action points, the movement points, and the looks points. Okay, this is a full vial from 1 to 8. When you reach 0, you have to turn this number, this token, and you only have one vial. When you finish your vial, remember that the looks points are your life and your resources to do the actions in Sheol, so you have to use them very carefully. When you finish your second vial, in this case, you can have more vials, of course. There are also a few methods to recharge looks, but looks often is not recharged. Okay, it's almost not recharged in any way. When you finish the second vial, the looks board is flipped and you become corrupted. So you have only 5 points of looks left, and then you are dead. Okay, but you have also some improvements because you flip this board as well. Okay, we'll talk about corruption later. Then we have the main character card. We improved a lot the graphic to, if you remember, the last one was more confusionary. Okay, now it's more clear. On the top you have the vials number, the Lightshield number you have to draw at the beginning of each scout phase, and the corruption token that you can get before getting corrupted. Okay. Then we have the illustration, the name, the archetypes that are fundamental for equipping the weapons, the lanterns, and to get more advanced actions, Lightshield actions cards. Then we have the critical. If you do a critical hit to an enemy, you apply the effect written here. Then we have the base movement points and the extra movement points you can buy paying 1 lux. Lux is this cube. Okay, is always a cube. So basically the Pioneer has 3 movement points, but paying 1 lux, he can increase the movements by 1. He can do this action as many times he wants. Okay, there's no limit. But you will die, okay, if you use all your lux. Then we have the weapon in the new layout as well. The weapon has the illustration. Each weapon has a unique illustration. Almost in Sheol, every card is unique. There are only a few exceptions, but almost every card is unique. We have the damage of the weapon, 2 in our case. You can attack paying 1 lux, doing 2 damage, and you attack in this pattern. Okay, in this one. You are the black dot. I can't zoom more in Tabletop Simulator, sorry, but I think you will see the black dot. And you hit one of these 2 dots, okay, gray dots. Then there is this part that is the overloaded attack. You can overload a weapon to deal more damage, 3 in this case, paying 1 lux. But every time you overload a weapon or a lantern, you have to throw a challenge overload die, and you obtain some broke markers. And here below you have the durability of the weapon, that is 2, and if you get more than 2 break markers, the weapon is destroyed. Okay. When a weapon is not destroyed, broken, when it's broken, you have to flip the card, okay, and on the back of the card you find a new action that is the repair action. In this case you have to pay 2 Umbra and 1 action to repair your weapon. Also on the back of the card you find the level. Okay, this is a base weapon, so the level is 0, only the plateau of the Citadel. The faction icon, or in this case, because it's a starting weapon, the icon of the Pioneer, and the archetypes to equip this weapon. So basically you have to use the back of the card when you do the setup and when you are in the development phase. That is the phase between each mission, where you buy new items, new weapons, new lanterns, improve your character, cure your characters, improve the Citadel, etc. We see it later. Okay, and the front of the card you use it to play. In this area, often there is an effect that is unique for each weapon or lantern. Okay, on the right side you have the lantern. The lantern corresponds to 2 main actions. Okay, the first is it's an improvement we did in Sheol in the last version, is the plan action. Practically with this action you can see this symbol, paying 2 lux, you will acquire 2 Lightstream tiles. Lightstream tiles are these, okay, are in this bag, and 5 are displayed in a common pool. So basically you acquire 2 Lightstream tiles and put them here, okay, and then when you move you can place them. Also when you reveal you can place them in your lantern pattern. In fact, the second action of the lantern is revelation. You can see it from this icon. By paying 1 lux you can reveal in all this pattern. Blue patterns are area of effect patterns. So you hit all these cells and you reveal the shadows inside this pattern. And also, if you want, you can place your Lightstream tiles in these patterns during a reveal action. And you can also destroy coral bone obstacles using this action. We will see it when we play, okay? Then you have the overloaded, in this case, plan action. If I have a pattern here, I will have instead a overloaded revelation action. And it is similar to the overload of the weapon, so you have to throw the scout overload die, and you get some break markers. Okay, and the lantern can break as well. And then you have to repair it. Okay, the other symbols are the same. Okay, then we have the Pioneer miniature, of course, and the 13 Lightshield cards. For example, first I shuffle it, and then I can draw 3 cards, because there is a 3 here. So at the beginning of the scout phase, I draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We improved as well these cards, so I'll describe you a little. We have, with a Lightshield card, you can do basically 3 things. The first is a discount. A discount means that you can discard the the Lightshield card, applying this effect. For example, to have a discount by 1 lux to a reveal action. This one. So normally the reveal costs 1 lux, but if I discard this card, I pay nothing, so I don't decrease in lux. This because some characters do better some things respect the others. All characters are very different in Sheol. So with the Pioneer, you can discard this card and don't pay the reveal action. Or discarding this, you pay 1 lux less the plan action. And this card is also for the revelation. Okay, so this is the first thing you can do with a Lightshield card. The second thing you can do is the main effect, Lightstream reposition in this case. So you apply the effect, move a Lightstream tile within 3 spaces from your scout to another unoccupied space in your lantern pattern. For this one, during a plane action, so sometimes there is the time when you can play the Lightshield card, in this case during a plan action, or in this case during an attack action, and then you apply the effect. Others are instants, so you can play it and apply immediately the effect. When you can use this card is defined here in this little timer. Blue means that you can use it during the scout phase. Red means that you can use it during the shadow phase. Both means you can use every time you want. Okay, as an instant practically. If you play the Magic the Gathering, it's an instant, becomes an instant card. Below you have the level of the card and the archetypes. Yes, the faction area. In this case is the Pioneer starter card, so there is the Pioneer icon. The third thing you can do with a Lightshield card is discarding it to parry damage, please, on the back. So when a shadow or when an enemy deals 1 damage to you, you can discard a card to parry damage. You can discard every time all the cards as well if you want. Okay. The only limit is to 1 action. You can apply 1 modifier, 1 Lightshield card to modify. For example, during a plan action, take an extra tile by drawing it from the bag, and 1 to the same action discount. Okay, so remember this rule. You can't play 2 Trailblazers of the Unknown on the same action. It's too much. Okay, then the last thing on your scout board or scout area are the tokens. There are 2 unique tokens for each scout that are used for some special actions in lands. That is a major improvement we did on the rules. Okay, so each scout has its own area. Now let's see. You have on the side of the main board the Citadel board, Citadel, you have to start each mission with a value that is permanent of the Citadel prosperity points, practically the Citadel life, and each time a shadow reaches the Citadel at the center of the board, the Citadel suffers 1 damage. And then you, in the development phase, you can repair it if you want. Also, here you will build new districts. To build a new district during the development phase, also these are bonuses are permanent during all the campaign. Okay. To build a district, you have to choose a district card and place it. Yeah. Then we will see the difference between an active district and a passive district, because we have to choose when you build one. We will see it during the development phase. Okay, this part. And then on the top part, you will count the development points and the faction tokens for the Luminary Monks factions, the Engineers Caste faction, and the Exiled factions. Okay. And in this area is new as well. Here you will put the facilities tokens, facilities tiles that are used when you unlock during the campaign the building of some facilities. Okay, in the tutorial you unlock this one, that is the Umba Extractor. You can build facilities on lands. Okay, so each time you unlock a new facility, you have to add a tile here. There are 3 tiles, and then some facilities are unlocked by some districts as well. These are only the active side. Let's see if I saw. No, it's only the active one. Let's see. I want to show you one. Oh, this one, for example, Scout Headquarters. So basically the tile is here in the card, in this case. Okay. Then we have the status cards. This is a huge deck because this is a little exception, so you have multiple cards of the same type. For example, a status corruption, mental radiance, out of control, mental obscurity, wound. When your scout is wounded, you have to take this status card, okay, and shuffle it in the scout's deck. And this is a permanent effect. You have to remove it during the development phase. In fact, this, for example, wound makes you, when you draw this card, you lose 1 lux point and then discard this card. So basically you draw a card less, a Lightshield less, and then you also take 1 damage. So it's not good, okay? Not good. Then we have these decks related to lands. I'll explain them later. A bunch of tokens for counting your points in that is the favor in respect to the various factions of Sheol. Umbra tokens. Umbra tokens 5 pair. And then the cubes. We introduced the cubes to remove all the small tokens, because small tokens were very tricky to use. So we introduced red cubes. Red cubes are damage for the shadow, also break marker if you put 1 on the weapon, or corruption marker if you put a red cube on your character, break marker if you put it on the weapon or on the lantern. Blue cubes are used to counters on mission cards, also as charges on accessories. Okay. Violet cubes are used for both and are 5 per, counts as 5 cubes. Okay. So another thing I want to show you is an accessory. These decks are for upgrades I used during the development phase. For example, this one is the evolution of the Night Digger of the Pioneer. Let's take the Night Digger. Where is it? As you can see, this has an effect as well, a better pattern, better plan value for the acquisition of the live stream. And it also has this symbol that is a shield. Shield could be a circle of a square. Square is better. And when a shadow hits you, rolling a circle on the shadow die, you get 2 damage less. Also on the back you'll see the level of this weapon, this lantern is 2, because 0, 1, 2, so it's quite strong, and the faction, and the archetypes to equip it. For example, the Pioneer that has luminosity, brightness, and defense can equip it because it has one archetype as well. As both, because it's the direct evolution of this one, but one is sufficient. Okay. The other thing are the accessories. You can equip from the second mission on. Okay. You can equip accessory as well. An accessory, you can place it here or here near your scout board. An accessory has some charges. In this case, 2. The max is 3, so you have to put 2 cubes on your charges. And then you can use it during the scout phase, applying its effect by discarding 1 cube. The effect in this case is discard 2 cards to gain 1 Umbra. It's not quite very strong because this is it's a level 1 accessory. As you can see, it's a level 1 accessory. There are no archetypes for accessory, but there is the faction to unlock it. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, we have now the shadow part. Okay, the shadow area. We improved this as well. First, we have the main shadow board. The main shadow board is used to count the turns for 1, 2, 3, and to reveal threats. Each time a new turn begins, you have to reveal a threat, basically drawing a card from the threats deck and reveal it and place it here. Each threat card has the name and it's unique. The effect that is instantly applied, and the a number, okay, or a range of numbers, in this case from 1 to 5, and this means the mission number when you have to play this threat card. In the tutorial, that is mission 1, you will only create a deck of 2 cards, Mimicry and Thirst. You see the range is 1 to 4, so in mission 1 you will use this card. Okay, mission 2 as well, you use this card, but you have to get more other cards, more threats. Okay, then we have, let's put it back. Okay, we have the blips that are it's an unrevealed shadow. Okay, with the blips life, a blips damage, and the pattern, hit pattern, and also the critical hit effect. Each blip that is drawn from this bag, when is revealed, becomes a revealed shadow. Okay, revealed shadows for the core box are 3. The Devourer, okay, it has the hit points, damage, pattern, critical, and an effect when it's revealed. For example, the Devourer, when it's revealed, put a coral bone token under the Devourer. The Moth moves 1 space away from the Scout. The Lurker moves 1 space towards the Scout who revealed it, and if in range, puts 1 break marker on that Scout's lantern or weapon, player's choice. Okay. Also, the Moth has a larger partner. And these are the Sheol's base enemies. You have also the miniatures to put in play when you reveal it. Okay? When you reveal, you can remove the blip and put the miniature in play. On the expansion, you can play also with the Sentinel and the Swarmer that are a little different. And then there is a thing that we never talked about. I think now is the right moment. And are Hypershadows. Hypershadows are basically double shadows. So when you have to spawn and place an Hypershadow, you have to place 2 blips, one on top of another. Okay. A non-reveal Hypershadow is made by 2 blips. When you reveal it, you have to apply the reaction of B and then the statistics of A, so the one of the top, plus 1. Plus 1, for example. I reveal this Hypershadow, I apply the reaction effect of this one that is a Sentinel. The reaction is all Scouts in its pattern lose 1 movement point. Okay. And then I apply, it's basically a Lurker then. So you have to take a Lurker miniature and place it over. But it's a powered up Lurker, because it has 2 hit points and 4 damage points. It also has this pattern. When you kill an Hypershadow, you have to remove the counter below, and then it becomes a Lurker. So you have to kill 2 times. Okay. Also, the critical effect is different. So shadows can merge and become Hypershadows in Sheol. You have to be very careful about it. Okay, and this also adds variety in Sheol. Some of you say Sheols only have 5 enemies. Well, this is not right. Enemies are these as well. Okay, there are also Heralds, like this one. But base enemies, the shadows that are 5, comes in swarm, in armies. Okay, there are many of them in play at the same time, because in Sheol you don't have to kill the shadows, you have to complete the mission objectives, the mission to reach the mission goal, or you will die, because shadows will increase their numbers during the mission. Okay, during the course of the mission. About the Heralds, this one is the Marauder. You will counter it later in Sheol. Base shadows have only 2 states of illumination level, so are basically hide, okay, not illuminated when they are blips, or revealed. So their illumination level in numbers is 4. Okay, and when they are revealed. Heralds have 3 grades, 3 levels. 0 when they're hide, 2 when they are half illuminated, and 4 when they are full revealed or illuminated. Okay, when you reveal an herald, you will raise their illumination level to 4. Okay, but each time you hit and deal damage to an herald, you have to draw a reaction card from this deck. For example, Assault. Applied to any herald, move 2 spaces towards the nearest scout, so it does a movement. Also, the retaliation track increases its value by 2 in this case. When you reach the top, it does an extra attack. The attack is 3 for the herald. The pattern is this one. Area of effect, so it hits all the boxes. Has 1 shield and 7 hit points. Each time herald takes damage, you have to put a red cube. Where are the red cubes? Here. On it, okay? But also, its illumination level could decrease. For example, this one will decrease the illumination level. So illumination goes from 4 to 2, okay? You have to use a blue cube to count this, so you don't confuse the illumination level with the damage, okay? When an herald that has some traits, okay, to move during the scout phase, it has critical special effects, and it moves towards the nearest lightstream type, so it has an artificial intelligence, okay? But when a herald is killed, it reborns, so you have to flip the tile, the board of the herald, and it has different statistics, okay? It works the same, but it has different statistics. And also has a spawn position when it spawns, where it spawns, okay? This applies to each herald. Little spoiler of images, okay? And changes its behavior. The bosses, we will see. I remind you to the boss fight update we did, but in that update there was not the final version of the boss board. The bosses are 5 levels of illumination from 0 to 4. When you reveal a boss, it only decreases by 2. You have to do an overloaded reveal action to increase it to 4. Sorry, I said with a reveal action only it increases by 2, not decrease. And it has the hit points, the cards of its high. Each time you get the hit points of the boss that are called outer lords in Sheol, okay, in Sheol, outer lords. When you decrease the outer lord life to 0, you have to discard one of his artificial intelligence cards, cards. And then at the end there is the Berserk version with a special card, okay, artificial intelligence card. I won't show you the others to not spoil you the game. Okay, so and also the bosses have the artificial intelligence cards with attack patterns, movements, etc. But also some reaction cards. reaction for Outer Lords is based by on their illumination level. So for charge, for example, if the illumination level is 4 or 3, the Outer Lord heals 2 damage. If it's 2 or 1, the Outer Lord heals 1 damage, and no effect. And also there is the retaliation tracking charge. This is how much the illumination level of the Outer Lord decreases. Okay, and these are other effects. Or rain, healing shadow, psychic wave, etc. Wormhole, gravity wind, landslide, etc. Each Outer has its own combination of these reaction cards. And also the artificial intelligence cards are unique for each Outer Lord. Okay, then we have the dice. We improved the dice design as well. So we have the gravity die that is used to determine the movement of the shadows, base shadows mostly. The shadow attack die that has hit, but if you have a square on your lantern, you get 1 damage less. Hit here hit, but it's the same. Here hit, but if you have a circle on your lantern, you get 2 damage less. Hit, normal hit, critical hit. Okay, it's I think all the faces, okay, and nothing. Then we have for shadows the spawn dice, because the spawn system changed in Sheol. I'll describe you in a couple of minutes. And then we have the challenge overload die, the one you have to throw for the challenges and for when you do an overloaded action. Okay, for example, I do an overloaded with this gun torch, an overloaded plan action, so I will get 2 live stream tiles, but I have to throw this die. And was very bad because I get 3 broke. That is, it's a worst number. Okay, normally you get 1 or 2 break markers, and you have to put them on the weapon. In this case, the weapon is destroyed. Okay, better weapons have a better durability. Okay, but it was a very unfortunate throw. And then we have the scout die that is used to attack the shadow. To hit a shadow, the result of the scout die has to be less or equal to the scout illumination level. For example, is a blip, okay, not illuminated shadow, so its level is 0. You hit only if your result is below or equal to 0. That is, okay, the lowest. So you have to, if I obtain this phase, I will hit the shadow with dealing 1 damage, plus 1 damage, okay? With this, I will hit normally. With this, I will not hit the shadow, because it's 1, okay? When a base shadow, or we call it shadows, normal shadows, is revealed, its illumination level, as I said before, is 4, so I hit every time, because 4 is the max. I can also do critical damage, but it changes a lot for Heralds that, as you saw, sorry, has a different level of illumination or brightness. So you have to be very careful when you throw these dice and to evaluate your levels, okay, and your probability to hit an enemy. What do you think about this new design? Question for you, okay. Lastly, we have the spawn dice, as I said, but I prefer to start with you the tutorial now that I have covered the main components, not everything, because I didn't cover the tokens. These are the singularity, the spawn points. These are other tokens to mark missions and other locations. Now we will talk about the points of interest, called also events, and the lands, the shop, all this part, and then we have the upgrades area. Okay, now I don't want to show you all the tutorial because I'm one, so I will have to play with the solo mode that we will cover in another update. Okay, I have this set up with all the characters, and I use this tutorial mission just to show you some of the mechanics we changed or we improved in Sheol. So when you start a mission, first we have to read the intro on the mission manual. The mission manual is practically a book, it's a novel practically, okay? With an intro and an outro for each mission, where the story of the campaigns of Sheol proceed. Okay? From mission to mission, it's all connected. And you have to play before the main campaign, that is composed by 13 missions. And from the half of the main campaign, you can play the character missions that are like are a little tricky, like puzzles, okay? Are like the master. You have to master the character. You fully understand the potential of each character in this mission that are optional. In fact, when you complete it, you'll get a prize. That is a prize. It is a special card, okay, a golden card that you can add to your character Lightshield. Then you have the 4 expansions, the 4 mini campaigns, the Luminary Monks, that is made of 3 missions, the Engineer case, the other 3 missions, the Exiler case, other 3 missions, and then this is the last one, that is the Tsimita Outer Lord mission, it's only 1. Okay, so after you have read the intro and you have done the setup, that in the tutorial is very simple, you have to get the right mission deck, okay, in this case mission 1 that has level 0, okay, take the card A and reveal it. This is also the new layout. It says it has a story text that continues what you read in the intro, and then the first goal. Okay. The Umbra extractor is located in a nearby settlement, because in the first mission you have to go in a nearby settlement, so basically in a land, okay, and control the situation of some Umbra extractors. Okay. The extractor is located in a nearby settlement. So your goal now is objective: to discover the land in age 15. At completion, reveal B. So we will reveal the card B, and we go on. So we have to reach land in age 15. So here, okay. So what can I do with the Pioneer? I have 3 actions. Yeah. 3 movement points. So the first thing to do is to acquire. So I decide to acquire. I have to pay. So I pay 1 action point. Then I have to pay 2 lakhs to acquire. But first, sorry, this is okay, quite like alive, okay, this video, because first there is the scout phase. In this case, there is no scout phase because there are no shadows in play, because you start without shadows and without singularity spawn points in this tutorial. So I skipped to the scout phase. But normally you have to start with the shadow phase. So return. At the beginning of the scout phase, I have to recharge everything and recharge and draw the correct number of light stream cards. Okay, so I decide to do a plan action, acquiring 2 light stream, paying 2 lux. So I pay, I can pay 2 lux and use this card. During a plan action, take an extra tile. Okay, or I can pay, I use this Lightshield as a discount, so I can pay 1 lux to acquire only one, to pay only 1 lux. Okay, I have a discount by 1 to acquire 2, but I rather prefer to discard this, put in this, put in the discard pile. Okay, put it here. Pay 2 lux, 1, 2, and get 3 light string tiles from the pool. Okay, light string tiles are not all the same. For example, this one has a shield. This means that if I am on this light string tile and I am attacked by a shadow, I will get 1 damage less. These are the same, and there are also, okay, are not shuffled. Okay, this symbol is an arrow, so when you move on this light string tile, you don't pay any movement point. Okay, this pool is refilled when is depleted. So now I get this one, this one, this one. Okay. Now my miniature is here, can be here or here. Okay. Basically, it's in the Citadel. When you are in the Citadel, you can attack, you can't reveal. Okay. You can only repair, you can acquire. So I have to go here, so I can leave the Citadel from here. In this new version of Sheol, you can also move on the Dark Source, but paying 2 movement points instead of 1. But, for example, if you reach, it's very difficult, but if you reach a land in the dark, the land is not revealed. Also, most of effects are used when the things in Sheol are connected by the live stream. Okay. Also, items exchange, for example, printer option items, the old shop items. Okay, you have to be connected. So doing the live stream is always mandatory, practically. It's important. It's fundamental. So I move. Moving is not an action. So with the first movement point, I go out. As I said before, I can place the live stream when I move or when I reveal. So I place the live stream here and go over. Then I place the second one here and go over. Then we have an obstacle. Okay, this is a coral bone obstacle. I can't go over it. I have to destroy it. So the first thing I want to do, so the second thing I want to do now, second action, is I only have 1 movement point. Okay, I can pay 1 action and reveal. My reveal pattern is like a T letter. Okay, so I reveal this space, this, and this space. the carbon are destroyed when I reveal. So by paying 1 lux or better, I'll discard this, so I avoid paying lux. I will reveal in this area, so I destroy this one. And then I can place as well the light stream in my pattern. So place this. Now this land is connected, so when I go over this land, the land is discovered. That is one of the main things I want to show you. Let's turn around the camera. Okay. So I've done 3 movement points, so I have no movement left. But paying 1 lux, you see below in the part at the bottom of the card, I can pay 1 lux to increase my movement by 1. So I pay 1 lux, get 1 movement point back, then I spend it immediately, and I go here on the land. When I enter the land is, if it's connected to the Citadel, it is discovered. So I take this tile. It is a Twilight land. And I flip it. 4th cloud. Okay, so what I have to do? The land is divided in 4 square spaces. Place my miniature here. You see a code, TA. When I discover a land, I have to go to the land deck. Oops. And take the correct card. In our case is TA. Okay. Get this card and read the intro if I want. Of course. If I want, I can skip it. This is a flavor text, okay? The skyscraper surrounded by crumbling buildings. Stand tall like I was. Okay, that's now I won't read it. And then I will place this card near the mission cards or where I want. Now I put it here. Oh. In this card, I have 3 spaces because when I on a land, or I can do more actions. I can, in this case, do an exploration on the land. Deploy the printer to buy. It's like opening the shop, okay, to buy shop items, printed items. It's practically like my scout deploy the printer or talk with the settlement inhabitants exiled at the top of this skyscraper, for example, and deploy the printer and paying the Umbra, as we can see very soon. You can print some items that you can use later, okay? And the last thing I can do is build a facility. Okay, I'll describe this very soon, but the first, we did the goal. So we discovered the land in age 15. So it triggers immediately. I have to reveal B and discard this card. So I discard this and reveal B. The extractor is in very poor condition. A maintenance crew will need it to dispose of it. It's time to place new ones. We have an effect as well. Place the extractor facility tiles on the Citadel board. From now on, you can use this facility in your missions. So in the tutorial, we unlocked this one, the extractor. So I have to take it on the box and place it. The extractor is a facility that costs 1 action. And I can do it during the scout phase. Sorry for the camera movements, but it's Tabletop Simulator and my not to developed ability as a cameraman. And the extractor will give you X Umbra defined by the land at the beginning of each scout phase. So it's a very useful method to acquire Umbra, in particular in the first turns. So place the Umbra extractor first. Okay, from now on, goal. Place an extractor in land H15 and one in land P10. Okay. Also, the Pioneer used all the no, has one action left. But maybe if I had played with other people, another person could go here. So the next goal is to place a facility here, paying an action. The Pioneer can do it now, paying an action, and another here later. Okay. How can I build a facility? Very simple. I have to pay one action. Take the token of my scout, place it here, and then take the facility token and build it here. Okay, it's done. As you can see, the land actions are limited. So you can place a facility, deploy the printer, or do an exploration. If I wanted to do an exploration, I have to place my token here and draw an exploration card. Exploration in Sheol are very important, not only for the narrative value or to better learn the Land of the Knights environments, okay, but also because it grants you faction points and development points that are used during the development phase in between missions. Okay, so in this case, for example, if the player that plays the Pioneer does an exploration, another scout has to draw this card and read it to the Pioneer. If you play solo, you don't have problems because you can read it by yourself, and then you have a choice here, so you don't spoil the results because they are on the back, and then you have the outcome on the other side. In this outcome you gain 1 lux, in this one you put 1 break marker on your lantern, and the last one, shuffle a wand in your deck. Okay, the last thing I can do in lands, this in the last version of Sheol, the one we recorded time ago, there are no one of these action. This is are all new. Important thing, if I do the exploration of the land, if in another mission I find the same land, I can do another exploration of the land, because there are 2 explorations for each land. Okay, when I did all the exploration on the land, I can no more do exploration on that land. But there are 25 lands in Sheol, so a total of 50 explorations. There are a lot of explorations, okay, to do. And okay, the last thing I can do on a land is deploy the printer. In this case, I have to reveal 4 cards, so I have to put my token here. Reveal 4 cards from the right printer deck. This one is for the Twilight lands, like the one we are in, this one. This is for the Forgotten lands, this kind of lands. And this one is for the Shadowlands, this kind of land tiles. So I get 5. Oh. You can increase the number of these items during using these decks during the development phase, so you can upgrade each item, because each item has an upgraded version that is also written here. For example, if I acquire the Pocket Deluxe Vial, so I display the items, okay, and then paying the right amount of Umbra, I can get it. And if I get it, I can use it. In this case, anytime, because I can use it during the Shadow phase or the Scout phase. There are some items that have to be attached to a weapon. For example, Stroke Accelerator, attached to a weapon, +1 damage until the end of the mission. At the end of the mission, these are discarded. Okay, so this is another thing I can do with lands. Now you have a better understanding of what lands are. Also, we decided to do this format with lands to also give space, the right space on illustrations. Each land has a unique illustration. Also, some of these illustrations are on the mission manual, in a big version. So in the mission manual is basically also an art book. Okay, so we have seen, we saw the lands, the connection, how improved the movement has improved. I want to show you what happens when I reach one of these tiles, and then we'll talk about a little on combat and the shadows. Okay, shadows, movement, and spawn. When you go on one of these tiles that are the same, okay, when you go here, placing a live stream or going in a dark cell, remember, if you end your turn in a dark cell, you will get, oh, the Pioneer is dead. Oh, okay. No, is dead. Pioneer is dead. Okay, take it there. When you finish your turn in a dark cell, you'll get 1 corruption token. So, but when you go over one of these particular tokens, you have to draw an event card or a mini event card, like this one. You find blueprints dating back to the ancient times. Gain 1 development point. Okay, these are 12 cards with 8 positive cards and 4 bad cards. So it's always recommended to go over these points of interest to get some bonuses. But if you are unlucky, you get something worse. Okay, something not good, something bad. Okay, let's talk about the Pioneer. I don't want to. Okay, let's talk about the shadows. I will not go further in this mission, but at one point some shadows will spawn and singularities spawn as well. So during your tutorial you can learn how to spawn new shadows and move shadows. There is also a branch then, because at a certain point you will reveal 2 cards instead of 1. So you have 2 lines to follow, 2 mission lines. Okay, I put some shadows in play, here, and the spawn points. The spawn points, the singularities are called in Sheol, are like vortexes. This changed with respect to the last version. You have a small arrow that have always to point to the space nearest to the Citadel. So this space in this case, and here in this space in this case, and then we have the shadow here. Okay, so at the beginning of each turn, you have to go on with this counter, reveal a threat, and then you have to move the shadows, make them attack, and then we will generate new shadows. To move the shadows, first I have to throw the gravity die. Okay, Omega or Scout, that is the result. So if there is a Scout within 4 cells, from a blip, you have to move the blip towards that Scout. If this condition is not fulfilled, you have to move each shadow towards the Omega. You have the Omega axis, this one, and Alpha axis, this one. In this case, we move each shadow 1 space toward the Omega axis. Okay, we completed the movement. If the Scout was, for example, here and here, there were the Pioneer, the Scout, the shadow had moved here, okay, towards the Scout. Okay, Maenad. Okay. Then there are the attacks. If this blip is here, we'll attack the Maenad, because the pattern of the blip is all the surrounding cells. To attack, I have to throw the shadow die. Okay, hit, but if the Maenad has a square, 2 damage less. The Maenad has no square, so she takes, in the case of a blip, 2 damage. Okay? 2 damage. The Maenad could discard 2 of his her Lightstream tiles, Lightshield cards to prevent this damage. Okay. Once the shadow moved, we have the generation of new shadows. This is also a big change we did in Sheol. So to generate, you have 2 dice, a white one and a red one. This is called the alert die, and this is called the danger die. And it depends of the state of a singularity. That could be red on the danger side or on the alert side, that is white side. So in this case, I have to throw for each symbol. There are only a max of 3 symbols, so all the circles, all the triangles, or all the squares. Usually there are 2 in play, but sometimes all 3. I have to throw a die, so I throw. Okay, I got 1, so from each triangle spawns 1 shadow starting from the space pointed by the arrow and then proceeding clockwise. So I'll take another shadow from the back and put it here, because this one is occupied. Then, as you can see, there is these arrows, so you have to flip the singularity. So next turn, I have to use this die that spawns usually more shadows. Okay, so when you spawn zeros, 1 shadow, 1 shadow, 1 shadow, and an Hypershadow, but only from the mission when you discover the Hypershadow, before you can ignore the effect. 2 shadows, 2 shadows, okay, without flipping. So when I spawn a few shadows, the singularity charges and becomes red. When I spawn too many shadows, it cools down, okay, and became white again. So I have to throw the other die here as well. 0, okay, but it flips. And then we completed the shadow phase. If I had Heralds or Outer Lords, they act before the shadows. So you have to move the herald towards its target based on his AI. Okay, basically in Sheol you will have many shadows, okay, to try to go towards the Citadel. When a shadow reach these corridors, these areas in red, framed by red, they proceed towards the Citadel. But if there is a scout, for example, here, and you obtain this result, the shadow will move towards the scout. Okay, so it depends by the things, by the scout's positioning. Okay, so the Menad, for example, now could reveal this shadow, doing a reveal action using our pattern. Okay, it's a sentinel. Sentinel is a shadow that does not move, but as all the base shadow does a reaction. So the reaction of the sentinel is the all scouts in pattern lose 1 movement point, so the Menad lose immediately 1 movement point. And then the Menad now can attack the shadow, throwing the scout die. The sentinel has 2 of life points. Life points of base shadow are recharged at the end of at the beginning of the shadow phase. Okay. She does 3 damage with her life spear, so she can throw. Okay, hit, because the illumination level is 4, I obtain less, so it's hit, and the shadow is destroyed. When a shadow is destroyed, the character is awarded with 1 Umbra. That is the currency used to buy the items from the printer, to print the item projects. Okay. Okay, I think we almost covered not everything, because Sheol has many things, okay, many setups and situations, okay, but almost the base mechanics, almost all the base mechanics and the improvements. There are also the obstacles that could be in a setup. We have three kind of obstacles. Okay, we already seen the coral bones, but coral bones you can destroy them. Then we have these that are Luke's trenches. Shadows can't go over these obstacles, but scouts can. Dark conglomerates obstacles that are the opposite. Shadows can pass these obstacles, but scouts don't. And then we have the rifts. No one can go over these except for the flying enemies or characters. And then there are many special cases of shadow movements. For example, when a shadow is here, I have to go around the obstacle. When I have to move towards, for example, another shadow, I can jump over it with an obstacle is jump. There are many things I want to cover on this video, because I think I already recorded a lot, but I wanted to do this video very much because I wanted to show what we did, the improved graphics, the improved mechanics and components and such. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we will record another one that will be a gameplay. We will play a mission with 4 persons, and then in Italian, and then I will do the commentary in English, in my English. I hope it's understandable by you. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for our updates, and thank you for your support. Bye.